afternoon and welcome to the studio. This is Listen. Today you're joining us on the 5th episode of Listen. Listen is the show which discusses the challenges and insecurities of adolescents as well as the challenges of parenting an adolescent. We're looking at life through the eyes of an adolescent. We're coming to you live from TV Africa, and we're also showing on DSTV channel 362, Go TV channel 175, and also we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the studio. Today we have a very interesting topic. We're going to be finding out if the fathers have enough information on puberty to pass on to their sons and the role they're playing in the lives of their daughters. In studio with me is a very strong panel to discuss this very important topic, even though some people believe that the fathers really don't care. So we're going to find out if the fathers don't care. In studio with me is Mr. Baba Femi. He's the Executive Director of eTransact. Mr. Kojo Chumisi, the Country Manager of Power Life Global. Mr. Reverend Benedict Otu, the MD for Capital O2, and Dr. Ayem. Welcome to the studio, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Well, before I start, when the topic went out today, for today, I got a message from a mother who says, the fathers don't care. Now, before we come to dealing with whether the fathers care or not, Dr. Ayem, when we talk about puberty for the adolescent male, what exactly is the information that a father should have to be able to pass on to their son?
Yes, thank you. I think the important thing is to understand the change from childhood to the puberty.
Okay.
Because at that time, both the male and the female get the same type of hormones, roughly the same quantities.
Okay.
But when they get to the adolescent, the puberty, the males get a lot more testosterone, and then the female gets a lot more estrogen. Which are
you have to break the testosterone and estrogen.
Which are two different hormones.
Okay.
That the males will get, and then the females will get. Now, when they get that, it starts manifesting itself in differences between the two sexes.
Okay, that's the physical changes. So what are these?
It changes a lot of things. It changes the physical, it changes the intellectual, it changes the emotional, and it changes the psychological. So those hormones change the two. And
this is in the boys?
Yes.
Okay.
The boys are on one side and the female on the other.
So we're focusing on the boys. Okay.
Now you realize that at that time, you would realize that they are getting hair at various places. Their voices are becoming deeper, more coarse. Their chest is getting broader, and the muscles are becoming bigger.
Okay.
At that time.
Okay.
So when they start experiencing those things, then the sexual organs are also developing.
Okay.
So that area is also developing. The sexuality of the person is also changing psychologically, emotionally, and all that. So when that stage comes, the father is supposed to even recognize that stage.
He's supposed to what?
Recognize.
Can you repeat that?
that the stage has come.
Okay.
And therefore, a lot has changed.
Okay.
In the home or wherever the setting is.
Okay.
But unfortunately, because this change is not even recognized, the fathers continue to deal with the person like a child.
When you say it's not even recognized, how do you mean?
You know, he was your small boy, you throw him around here and there. But when the change comes, he has started analyzing a lot of issues.
That's the child?
Yes, the child has started analyzing. So now, whatever you say will be interrogated with some analysis. But unfortunately, if the father has not recognized it, then the father is going to carry his ego along.
Wait, the father's ego, not the boy's
the father's
ego.
ego. Because the boy is going to question whatever you say, because now they are getting matured and began to think about what you say and are analyzing it. They become self-conscious. They're becoming big. They are becoming taller. They grow very tall, and so they are growing. They believe they are growing, and they are analyzing. So when you say something, they are observing. If it doesn't make sense to them, they won't agree with what you say.
Okay.
Because intellectually and they are also becoming big, and they believe they are now part of their system. And also they are looking at their identity and also how they should, the role they should play in the society. So they've begun to think about who they are, what they can be, and all that, and what they are supposed to do as a role in the society.
In the society. So when it comes to their biological changes, you think that the fathers kind of let it slide by?
Well, some of them, because I noticed that because sometimes, whatever the reasons, I mean, you go to work, you come back in the evening, and from what I saw, I used to work in the districts, but when I came to Accra, I noticed people leave early morning and come late. I mean, when the people are asleep.
Yeah.
Asleep. So sometimes you don't even see them grow, actually.
We don't see them grow.
Yes.
Let me announce my WhatsApp numbers. As you know, this is a live and interactive show. You can send your messages via WhatsApp, and the number to send to is 020-723-3302. The number again is 020-723-3302. It's on your screen right now. And listen, has been made possible by our supporters. Presage, they say they will floor you. Lush Fortune Limited for all your interior decoratry, curtains, everything decor, interior, hotel, home, office. They are the place to go. And then Purple Rose Shoes for comfortable, unique, beautiful, affordable shoes. You want to go to Purple Rose Shoes. And for all your lovely clothes, you want to go to Nags Wardrobe. Now, we talk about time passing. And the parents go to work, the father goes to work, comes back in the evening. And I remember last week we had a young boy here who said, we appreciate what our fathers do. Yes, they're working to make sure we're comfortable, but they still want time. Would you say, Mr. Chumesi, that time is the one thing that we are not giving our adolescent sons to be able to sit them down and take them through the process, or we didn't get the talk, so life goes on?
I think I would want to qualify it a bit, given our circumstances as working men. Quality time.
Quality time.
Quality time.
Okay.
What goes into the time? Some men, like Doc said, work end to end. I like to use it end to end. So you have to now see that child technically as a project and dedicate.
So the child is a project.
No, see, whichever way you look at it, see it as a project.
Okay.
And dedicate time to that project.
Wow.
Quality time.
Because that is what it has to be. Some men may have more time to actually be more physically present by virtue of what they do. But the bulk of men, by virtue of what they do, will not be available all the time.
Wow.
Present all the time. But you need to appreciate the fact that you need to be available even when not present. And then when you are present, make the time quality. What is going into it? You need to engage. Put the ego aside. I've noticed it's an ego conversation.
It's an ego
He's
conversation.
A man, he's a smaller man and a bigger man. The bigger man feels he knows.
No, say that again.
He's
a smaller man.
And a bigger man.
Okay.
The bigger man thinks he knows, and the smaller man also thinks he knows.
Yeah. The smaller man thinks he knows.
Yes.
By virtue of.
Imagine the environment he's growing in. Maybe the dad even is not as comfortable even on a device as the son is.
Well.
So the 10-year-old knows so much, it has so much information. It's crazy. But the difference between the older and the younger is that wherever that child is, the man has been there before.
He's been there before.
So there's a certain guidance and a certain care that needs to happen that you can't run away from as a man, no matter how busy you are. Because it's a very short window that you have. If you miss that window, getting it back is extremely difficult. And what I realized early in the boy's life was, when
you have 3 boys.
Yes,
and
3
a
boys.
daughter.
The older is 18.
Okay.
And when they started, early ages, they speak to me. And then I almost made the mistake of thinking that the things they were telling me was, excuse me to say rubbish. I don't have time for this. I don't need this. But I realized, no, listen. That is what is important to them. Listen, you just listen. Like the show is, listen.
Listen.
And in listening, you now begin to build trust. then when you speak to them, they would also listen.
So when you listen, you build trust.
You
I'm
build
going to come
trust.
back to that.
You build
So Babafemi, you have a son. How old is your son?
Two sons.
Okay. How old are they?
One will be 21
Okay.
this October.
Okay.
One will be 18 tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday to him in advance. Now, at any time through this, because they're still adolescents actually, have they ever come to you to ask you questions about biological changes?
Not really. I only know. In fact, the short answer is no.
No.
Yes.
And did you ever, sit them down to say things are changing?
I have one general policy which cut across, and it has helped me watch and learn.
Okay.
It has helped me in all areas.
Please elaborate on watch and learn.
Watch and learn is watch what I do and align yourself with what I do. Show by example. That's what I mean by watch and learn. I know they didn't watch me grow into adolescence.
Yes, I was going to ask.
But we talk about information. The truth of the matter is these guys know more than us. And for their age, that's the reality of life.
Okay.
No matter what you want to tell them, they possibly have know what you want to tell them before you are telling them.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Okay.
Today, no matter how much you sit down with them, even if you have time, they have more time than you. So they've gathered information from a lot of people. Now, how do they process this information? How are they processing this information even when they are not talking to you? They process the information based on, that's from my observation, based on what they have been saying in you and daddy.
Okay.
In mommy and daddy.
Okay.
If where we have the two of them, that is why it's important for the two of them
To be
take care.
together.
Unless if for whatever reason, only one is available. They are watching.
Whatever
They are
you're
watching what
doing.
you are saying. You said they shouldn't watch that thing on the telly, but you are watching it. They are processing things around them. Their rate of processing is faster than when we grew up. We grew up in the village. The things we see, before I saw television, it was very long. But these people grew up with this thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it is that's my nature.
Okay.
But occasionally we listen to them, and then we interject and add to it.
Okay.
We don't constrain them. You
Okay.
be free, talk to your friend, do whatever you want to do. At a certain stage, we don't let them have phone. We didn't let them have phone at a certain stage. But we didn't restrict them from phone.
You don't have to have, but you can use that your mommy.
Use
so.
mine, use your mom. Chat whatever you want to chat.
Okay.
Don't delete anything. Leave it there like that. And they were free.
Okay.
And from there, you could read certain things, and then you now use it to more like not a proactive way or a reactive way.
Okay.
Let me put it that way. I see it, and you now use it to align the thought. The thought already formed. This is old age and new age.
Yeah.
How much do you want to pass across? I am not saying don't pass across,
Yeah.
but they have theirs. We have ours. Give them room to operate theirs while they are with you. And then find a way of, that thing your friend told you, how did you respond? What are and then correct. That's the method I and my wife use.
So as much as they know almost everything before you talk to them, don't you think it's still necessary that we take them through that talk? They know it, yes, but shouldn't it be a must that as a father, your son gets to a certain age, you let him understand that you are at this age? Because now it's not only adolescents who are at danger, even the little boys are being abused. So at age 5, we know what they can understand. We give them some information. At age 7, you know what they can understand. And by that time, it makes having that talk easier. Shouldn't it be?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you perfectly. We need to try to, I mean, like my colleague said, you think what you want to say is rubbish because of your background.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we grew up with this African background where these things were never talked about.
Yes.
Even in churches today, we have problems because saying even the word sex in the public environment, it looks very big to say. It looks very big to say. So the background, and we have this thing has been there. It is cultural something. So now reading it and teaching a 9-year-old, because their age of puberty is
yeah.
Even you are shocked to see your daughter growing breast at age 8. You are shocked. You are as shocked as
Breast.
so when you want to be telling age 8, age 9,
Exactly.
when in your own time it was 18. So we need to bring ourselves into it consciously, learn about it, and learn about it faster. Because if you are planning to tell them at 13, 14,
oh, they are long gone.
It's a forgotten issue.
Now, we're still talking about the boys, okay? One of the issues, one thing is quite an issue with the boys is wet dreams. And this actually forms a part of the puberty. Reverend, you have a son. How old is your son?
My son is 9 years.
He's 9. Have you had the talk with him?
Not yet. Not yet in the sense that, like we rightly said, Baba Femi said, in our time, at the age of 14, 15, thereabouts. So you are careful the age-appropriate information that you have to relate with your son. And children learn by observing. Again, I'm saying this to support what Baba Femi said. Jesus, the Bible says in Acts 1, verse 1, that O Theophilus, concerning all that Jesus began to do and to teach, which suggests that Jesus didn't just get up to teach.
Yeah.
He had to learn and exemplify it, then from there, appropriately teach it.
Yeah.
Looking at my daughter and my son, in terms of the physical development, there's a vast difference.
Yeah.
So with my daughter, a lot of informations, we've been able to relate some informations appropriately.
So you have had a talk with your daughter?
Yes.
Interesting.
But with my son, looking at the physical development, there is still some little time. Just that we are observing. And I must say, I believe that every parent, especially during the adolescence, is the most challenging time.
Yeah.
How to bring yourself into it. Now, talking about wet dreams, I'm glad you asked that, because a lot of young people go through a lot of challenges and changes, and they don't know how to share their feelings.
Yes.
Getting into the adolescency, you would definitely be having some of these things. Unfortunately, you have churches saying that these are demonic.
Yes, because some of the boys think they've been possessed.
Spiritual, whatever, hammering so much on masturbations and what have you. So it makes it very difficult for even the boys to open up. Yeah. And it's all because of some of the information that are related from the pulpit.
Okay.
Now, assuming you're in a church where they tell you that these things are demonic, it means you have spiritual marriage. Oh. Would you be even ready or open to open up some of your experiences? But before I realized, they will tell you that this guy is demonic, demonized. But the challenge there is that these are only physical development, as Doc earlier said. We went through it. I remember when I was growing, I couldn't believe that one day I realized that, oh, the whole bed is, is that me? And then the feelings started changing. But unfortunately, we become...
just a minute.
Yes.
So when you had that experience, what was did you know about it?
No. To be honest with you, I didn't know about it.
So what was your reaction?
I was very surprised. And then I asked, I was told...
Did you ask your father?
No.
Did you ask your mom?
No.
Did you ask your brother?
A friend.
You asked friends.
So, getting to know this, and then the feelings that comes with it. We've been there before. Yet when we see our children going through these feelings and then showing signs, we easily jump and say you are bad, you are a bad child, or whatever. You have already pushed the person away.
Yeah.
There is no child who is bad. It's a changes.
Can you say that again, please?
I said
bold, capital
yes.
letters. Yeah.
You didn't train them to be bad. And for that reason, I don't think they are bad children.
Yeah.
They are only experiencing some changes of development, which comes with hormonal changes. Hormonal changes comes with feelings. So this little boy, you knew he should carry his Bible, be praying. Today you will see a girl and be having some kind of, feelings or whatsoever. Immediately, you'll have to let them know that these things you are going through, they are not normal. They are normal. They are not abnormal.
Okay.
Then that is where you help the child. But when you make the child feel like it's abnormal, it is a sin, it is wrong. And for bedwetting, for example, as if he committed a crime. How?
Hold that thought. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to find out what wet dreams are, and then we discuss further. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the studio. If you've just joined us, this is Listen. Listen is the show which discusses the challenges and insecurities of adolescents, as well as the challenges of parenting an adolescent. We're looking at life through the eyes of an adolescent. We're coming to you live from TV Africa, also showing on DSTV channel 362, Go TV channel 175, and streaming live on YouTube, ALY Television Network. Before we went on the break, we were talking about wet dreams. Now, doctor, can you please explain in layman language what wet dream is?
Okay. Like I said earlier, a lot of the changes that occur, the reproductive health changes, organs change, in that they become more sensitive, the testes begin to produce sperm and all that. So as it's producing those sperms, you see that now when the person is lying somewhere and there's stimulation, because he's sleeping, but the penis is rubbing against the bed or something, because already the testes have started producing, it will come without him controlling it or knowing it will come, because now he has started producing sperm.
So it's not like he's sleeping and dreaming and it's coming.
Yes, some it comes, then they get out, they realize it. Others, it kind of translates into dreams or whatever. But the important thing is the stimulation. That once he's stimulated, because now he's a little more sensitive than he used to be. With sight, when he sees a lady, because there is more of the hormones developing the person, and it's now ready to. He can now impregnate somebody.
So the wet dreams is as a result of the hormonal changes and all the things he sees. And he goes to bed and that's it.
Yes, there's not much about complex issues about dreams. It's just that when there's stimulation, and then the kind of your brain also manages it into kind of a dream, and then you are fine.
So that's it.
Yes.
So it's not demonic.
No,
it's not a witch hunt.
Yes, no.
It's just a normal biological process.
So, so that is the whole idea. So there's not much about any complex issue about it. So when they get to that stage, and he's growing, you see that the hair is coming, they become self-conscious. They become aware of themselves, and they become aware of their opposite sex, which was a normal biological development for us to get into reproduction. I'm talking of marriage, relationship. So it's a very natural growth into that area of our lives, which is an important part of our life. So it's not whether you make it or you don't make it, or you control it or you don't control it. They just grow into that. So now when it gets to that stage, and those feelings are coming, the person is now thinking, the person is analyzing, because intellectually they also grow. So at that time, you need to negotiate a lot and explain a lot, because when they see a phenomenon, they try to understand the phenomenon. and it should make sense to them. So, for instance, if they go on the internet, what they see is the evidence they have to do their analysis. So, if you have another evidence because of your own experience, because they don't have the experience, but they have the information and the experience they gather from their friends. So, the gap there is that they would have used what they have to make their analysis. So that if you have something more to add, then that is another matter. Because like with my son, he comes home with his friends and they sit. And I come to sit and I use a lot of storytelling. So I bring my own story into the conversation. So once I bring my
your own experience or your own story?
My own story, actually, and experience at that age and the way I went and what I saw. So sometimes it resonates with them. So
do you think they always believe the experiences we share?
Yeah, if it's sincere, they usually experience, because most of the time we experience similar things to what they are experiencing.
Yeah.
So if you are sincere, they will know. But if you say, when I got there, I was holy and I was this, then they know already that you are not right, because it's true you are a pastor now, but they look at you at that age and you were not a pastor. So they know. So once you don't meet the truth requirements of their analysis, that's why I'm saying they are analyzing. So if you don't meet that truth requirement, they throw you out very quickly.
I'm going to ask you a very interesting question. You're a doctor.
Yes.
You have you've got children. Did you do the talk?
Yes, I kind of...
your daughter is somewhere around here.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I remember sitting with them, at least the three of them were in a bench. I remember that day. Then I was talking about the menstrual cycle, the issues, and they were asking me questions.
Oh, they did?
Yes, and they were asking me questions. And in fact, the oldest among them at the time didn't know a lot about it. I mean, she wanted to know more about pregnancy issues. And then so she pushed it into pregnancy questions and that kind of thing. And they asked, and they talked, and like my son, we talked about the sex. He was telling me about what is going on in their school. He was mentioning some of the issues and that kind of thing. So you kind of enter the story. So, okay, in our time we did A, B, C, D, E. Okay, in your time you do that. Oh, okay, then this. So it gives you room to enter the space.
So the girls approached you or you approached them?
I usually, it starts from some story, then it ends in some other story, and ends in some other story. Because like, let's say when they take at the time, maybe they take a boyfriend, let's say at about 18, they will tell me the story.
Okay.
So when they tell me the story, and they think, this one is not right, this one is not right, I only add what I think, okay, look out for this, look out for this. I don't go into his good or his bad issue. I just say, okay. Then when you meet a guy, look out for this, look out for that, look out for this. So you'll be there, they come and tell you that we saw this, we saw that, we think this one is not right, this one is right. It's because they are interpreting as they go along. And you are only supporting that interpretation of what they are seeing and how they are seeing it. When you are using your experiences to kind of guide. So I always say that you don't know where they went, and each of them is different. So one of them will tell me, Daddy, you don't understand. Because sometimes I will be explaining it in physical, but she's in an emotional zone.
Okay.
So apparently her issue is in emotional. So you are in physical, explaining physical stuff, and you don't have a clue what is going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are in the psychological zone where they are in a lot of psychological issue where they have to be at par with their friends or something. So if that is the topic, and you are still in physical, this is good, this is bad, they know you are out of it.
I know you've said something very interesting. So adolescents, in every situation, they move in different levels.
Good.
Emotional, physical, psychological. Wow. And at any point in time, as a parent, you need to be able to decipher where they are, to be able to communicate.
And make sense.
Parenting is not a joke.
It's not a joke.
And make sense to them. So when they are in different phases, and they are all totally different, like one of them, the first one, she usually makes up her mind and is only coming to validate. So when she comes to me, I'm doing this, I'm doing A, B, C, D, then I just use the foolproof question. Is this right? Is this done? Is this done? And she moves. Another person wants to discuss with you. And sometimes they can't wait. So sometimes 2 a.m., they are doing some debate, and they say, Daddy, this is the issue. What do you think?
At 2 a.m.?
Yes, because at that time, they have come on vacation, they maybe slept in the day and woken up in the night. Maybe they are taking even advantage of their phone the free phone,
Free night calls.
all those things. So you come in, but they have a burning issue, and they
have to.
call you to ask that question, and you should be sincere and truthful, and then you answer it truthfully.
The truthful.
Yes.
I mean, Mr. Rafemi, how truthful can we be to the
That's
boys?
where I started from. Don't talk truthfulness, do it. They see you.
Yes, that's true.
You are the first people they see. If you are owing somebody, the person is coming and said, go and tell them I'm not at home. And you are demanded from them to be truthful.
Yeah.
They will not. But you have confused them. This thing can be easy if we as parents can just learn to be as real, especially we from the church side. And I am saying this as an issue of warning. There are statistics now that shows that even children of pastors, they are even worse when they leave home.
That's another talk show.
They are worse. Why? Because pastors are living two lives, many of them. You are pastor in church, you are something else after Sunday. I try. I'm not claiming holier than thou. I try to just be myself. And these folks are seeing it. They came one day, they came to ask us, they said, how come they're passing through this adolescent stage without trouble? I said, you tell me.
They asked you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The three of them together. Maybe when the one who is 21 and maybe when was around 19. I said, you tell me. You tell me, because I didn't even, of course, we didn't have those problems.
Yes.
We didn't have any problem.
Wow.
Truth be told, I'm saying it on here. Two of them are watching me right now. Okay, now I'm saying this, that truth, like Reverend said, do it first. You don't even need to tell them, be truthful.
It becomes
They
a
are
natural
seeing
thing.
the results. For me, this will be my advice. You see, don't force your children into religious activities. Don't wake them up 5 to do this. This works for me. I do personal devotion a lot.
Okay.
Occasionally, we may gather Saturday evening, and sometimes they come to my room. They see me just praying over time, not once in a while.
Okay.
They have imbibed it.
Yes.
So they are in school. They are just doing it. My wife stumbled on one of the charges or chats one of them had recently, and a friend was asking, "This your religious? You always talk religious. You always have a way of bringing religion into what you are saying." He said, "Is it your parent?" He said, "Oh, my parents don't even know many things I do in the religious sector."
Wow.
We saw that written. He said, "Oh, my parents don't even know many things I do."
Exactly.
So, really, but you want to force them to do religion, but they can't see it in you. So for me, but that's why I said this thing can be easy or easier if you can be yourself. Like you said, they can scan you and know you are saying the lie. You are lying.
Somebody just sent a message. It says, Nellie Brown, she's watching from the UK. She says, don't force your children into religious activities. Word.
And my children are, I don't like saying religion. They are very religious. I mean, in the sense of how people say religion. But once they know I'm not in religion, I'm in relationship. In fact, they baffle us. And I look at myself and say, I didn't do much about this thing. Have you prayed? You go to their room. Somebody is feeling sleepy. You say I should pray.
You wake them up.
Please relax, finish waking up, and do whatever you want to do. That's the way I run my personal life. Because if you want to talk to me and you are feeling sleepy, I'll tell you go and sleep. But you want to talk to your Father in heaven and you are feeling sleepy and you are forcing yourself. You are in religion. You are not in relationship. My friend, go and sleep. When you wake up, we talk. God does not always say, you must do it now. And that's what we demand of our children. And they don't want to talk to you about this life. They go outside, form their opinion, and live their life like that.
Somebody said, Dr. Newman Arthur, a clinical psychologist, he said something very interesting. But was it him? No, Dr. Topper. He says parents confuse respect with fear. He says parents confuse respect with fear. I'm going to open the phone lines and we'll come back to discuss it. Our phone lines are open. The numbers to call are 0302 908 307. The number again is 0302 908 607. It's on the screen. Okay. How do we bring ourselves to the point where we're confusing respect with fear?
Okay, so listening to him speak just makes me, just excites me.
Yeah.
Because at a point in the house, my challenge with my wife then, like in the early stages, was, why do you push these guys to by force they should come and gather to do this? They are watching. They're already watching. So if you are living it, you don't have to force anybody to do it. Now, because you are their dad, they would naturally, from an early age, by virtue of the way you communicate to them, by virtue of the way you carry yourself around, they may be afraid of you and may not open up to you. By virtue of, like he said, technically they don't trust you because you are not sincere. They see, and funny enough, they are a bit more perceptive than we think they are. When you are double-faced, they know you are double-faced. But because you are their dad, they can't tell you. They will just act it. They will just act it. And when you deal with somebody who's double-faced, you technically shift your face away from them.
Yeah.
You only deal with them if you have to. And then as they grow older, they don't have to, so they don't care anymore.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Alasan, calling you from Sakumono.
Thank you very much for calling. What's your contribution or question?
Yes, I want to contribute to the topic.
You're listening.
About being a parent.
Okay.
I actually agree with your panelists, but sometimes you need to put small fears on your children. Because if they are doing something and you assume that what they are doing is well, you don't want to put fears into them, this is where they will go out and they won't respect elders outside. And classical example is our today politics. You can imagine small boys sitting on the national platform trying to tell an elder one, you are lying. Or he will use some words which is not proper. But honestly, I am coming from the way our parents train us. We bring with the young ones to respect. When you are doing something wrong, somebody outside can call you and correct you. Even if it demands for the person to cane you, he won't do that. But nowadays, we rather worship our children. And I think it's bad. You see, at my age, you will see a little children disrespecting elders. So your parents, actually, I like their education, but I think they should be able to put fears on their children. That's my contribution.
Okay,
Right.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I'm going to take a few messages from YouTube. Treasured Keep says, it's great show as always, guys. And then somebody says, Ali, you appear interested in wet dreams explanation. Yes, because the boys always get it wrong. And Kwesi Techiapia says, hello, Auntie Natalie, I'm really enjoying the show. It's more of biology and social studies. And then Yohane Misabani, that's my grandson, he says, she's my mum. And then Treasure Keeps says, lead by example is the best way to teach, as you've been talking about, Mr. Baba Femi said. Now, lead by example. The gentleman who just called says, we have to put some fear in them, some fear. Okay, we have another caller. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in.
Fortunately.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your contribution or question, please.
Please, I want to contribute.
Yes, ma'am.
My contribution is most of the time children copy what their parents do. I happen to have 2 boys, and unfortunately, their father left me from the first one was about 14 years, about the entire SS. But because I don't want them to backslide, I took the responsibility as a father and a mother. So most of the time I talk to them about sexual issues, masturbation, and all those things. So I told them that the sex is not for this thing. It's not for enjoyment. Whereby you go out and you say your colleagues are talking about it, so you want to involve it. I told them that sex is for married people, and if they marry, they will have it maybe a time to come for they will tie it. So they shouldn't rush and have sex and all those things. And one thing too is that when you tell the children this, they will turn back and see if you, the parents, are also doing the same thing. So my boys, they don't see me going out, bringing men to the house, or say I'm going to my friend or all these things. So, and I put them into the church that I used to. So they learn from me, and they put themselves into the church. So even though the first one completed Legon, it's about almost 30 years. He didn't bring any girl to me that, Mama, this is my girlfriend. When he completed Legon, our pastor said that you should come and stay with him. And he didn't complain about it that my boy likes girls or all those things. So I appeal to the parents that if they are teaching their children, they should let their children learn the good things that they are practicing and they are teaching them. So that they will not let the good things in the house, and when they come back, they see the bad things. So they go and meet their friends too, they will follow them. So that is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think everybody, she's also talking about leading by example, which is the way to go. But the last caller said something about putting fear in them. I'm trying to synchronize what he's trying to say.
No, we're discussing fear and respect.
Exactly.
Now, listening to Doc speak, Pastor speak up,
Yeah.
when we were growing up, the majority of people were groomed in that manner, where an adult speaks, a child cannot speak. An adult speaks, a child cannot speak. Even if an adult is two-faced, it is law. It's done. It is settled.
It's settled.
So that is the context of fear. Right. But if you raise a child, if you really engage, you really live it, you show the example, the child will respect
You don't need to instill the
turn
fear.
out the way it's supposed to turn out.
Yeah.
They know what to do and what not to do.
Please
These are
hold
the
that
conversations
thought. We have a call on the line. Hello, thank you for calling.
Hello, my name is Lily Ayim.
Hi,
And I
Lily.
want to contribute on your show. I think what Dr. Ayim said, you realize that most of the time, parents don't put themselves in the shoes of the children. They rather take them at the level at which the parents are. And that is what brings the conflict. You see, if a parent is allowed to go down to that age of the child, where the child was saying that, the parent will realize that the child is being realistic, and therefore will give a realistic solution. But most of the time, we judge them the age that we are in. So we see them as bad, you are not doing the right thing, and all that. But when we were 18, when we were 19, if we realize these were some of the things that we went through, we will be able to advise them well.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's a brilliant point. Before we discuss that, okay, there's a message here. She says, what you're saying is very true. I'm an adolescent. My friend introduced me to masturbation. I knew nothing about this. Sometimes I feel like speaking to someone so I can get out of it, but there is no one to talk to because I really want to stay out of it. Can't speak to my mom because she's kind of some way. Please kindly say something about this. Okay. I mean, what the Lillian was saying is so true.
Yes, perfect.
Are we bringing ourselves to the level of our children, or are we there and they're here?
And I think that is like what the fear phenomenon. You see, we are already in a situation, the situation the person was describing, where people are insulting adults. So we are here. This is where we are now. So we are not where we used to be.
Okay.
We are here now. So whenever we get to a point and we have to change our ways because we are here, the question is, how many adults are not insulting on TV or radio or this? How many adults are not doing that? Because, like he said, what we want them to do is what we are supposed to do.
Please hold that thought. I have a call. I think
Yeah,
it's
hello.
my final. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Tobias. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes,
What's your contribution or question?
Yeah, I don't know how people understand fear, but there are two components that nurtures children or a child. And that components are truth and fear. Without fear make you rethink. Fear puts you in your right way before somebody becomes bold.
Yeah.
He first, that person first think about fear, and the fear will make that person re-strategize himself. So if we are parents, those two components, fear and truth, that we can use to guide our children. One, you have to allow your children to play free role, but you have to be guiding that person. If he misbehaves or he deviates, you have to, show your fear, and not every day that you have to be putting that fear in their child. But if whenever he makes a mistake, you have to show him that this is a mistake, and that mistake will make the child or will put fear into the child. So these two keys, fear and truth. You can't live. Nobody can live without fear. Fear is in everybody. Even the strongest man lives with fear, and that fear guides that person. So this is my contribution. So we can't live without fear. So we have to put fear in our children, but not in wrong manner, but in good manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you very much. That's our last caller. He's saying we should balance the fear. But how do we do that?
What I think about this fear factor or something is this. There are different ways to raise children. We have all been there before. We knew all the time our parents put fear in us. But I want everybody to know that they will leave you. Whether you like it or not. Whether you want them to leave or not. They are going to leave you.
Yes.
What are you going to live with them? For some of us who believe in God, now I'm not talking about whether Christianity or Muslim, you believe there is God.
Yes.
This God, how does he also, if you believe in him, how does he deal with us? Did he put fear in us? No, I don't think so. But he still let us, he gave us, this is what to do, this is not what to do. I leave you with the choice of doing it. Tell your children, this is what you should do, this is the repercussion of doing it. This is this, this is this. You can use Cain. That Bible quotation they used to say that. It's not necessarily physical rod. It's not necessarily physical rod. So what I want to say is this. Because if you create fear in them, if you create fear in them, it's going to affect them in life. It's going to affect them in life. Teach them what they need to do.
Okay.
Teach them what they don't need to do. Just like God. Don't commit fornication. Do this, do this. And when you want to go and do it, it's not going to hold your leg. After you have done it, and you come back, you know why it's there. Don't do it.
Yes.
You understand.
You will understand.
You understand.
You cage your children so much. They are looking for the day they will leave the house.
Freedom and justice, accountability for a greater tomorrow.
I remember when my daughter was going to boarding school, she's listening right now. you know, could see that she was so eager to go.
Yeah.
After 1 week, he said, I'm missing the house. I was happy with that statement. I said, at least I want to know, why do you want to run from the house before? Now you are missing the house in 1 week. That means there's something at home.
Yes.
Not that you maybe I want to be in school. Maybe that's why, because I've not been in boarding school. That may be the, now we knew that reason. It wasn't fear. I'm going to leave them. Now, thank God. Thank God. You can train them by your example, by giving them instruction. This is what I did. When I did that thing that time, this is the effect of it.
Yeah.
Do you want to end like that? One little thing I told my son, the second one, that changed his academic forever. One thing, I said, if I had gone this way, if I learned how to read when I would be more than where I am now.
Wow.
It was like magic. The rate at which he was reading, after that, we have to be stopping. He doesn't have holiday. And the way he clears them in school, you could see it.
Oh.
But I didn't use Kenya. If you don't read, and the daughter, the last one,
Yeah.
when they were comparing this girl, I said, leave this girl. She got to school, she was just, they said they didn't see her. I said, I saw it. You try to compare. You hit the ground running. This one needed to see something. This one, you leave it. And that works out.
It works out. We ran out of time, but when this happens, there's always a part 2 of that session. So next week, Sunday, I'm praying and trusting that I can have all of you back here and we do a part 2 of this, especially to discuss the issue with masturbation, because I see a lot of the boys are talking about
It's
it.
very important.
So next
very
week,
important.
Mr. Babafemi, Mr. Chumesi, Reverend.
I'm doing my inauguration.
Next week.
But
God works in mysterious ways. Doctor, you.
I'll come.
Next week, Sunday, I hope that we can have you all back so we can continue this discussion. Because if you see the questions that are coming through, you know that the young boys are really looking to hear these kind of information and some mentorship in their lives. So I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Babafemi, Mr. Chumisi, Reverend Otu, and Dr. Ayem for coming. All too soon, again, we've run out of time, and we'll have to come back next week for part 2 of the same topic. We have been here today only because Chrisarch, Lesh Fortune Limited, Purple Rose Shoes, and Nax Wardrobes have made it possible. Stay tuned next week, same time, 2:30. Don't miss it. And we bring you another exciting topic about the fathers, the information they have, and how much they're passing on. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Nathita Chiapia.